The opinions expressed in this show are the views of the host and not necessarily that of WTRW, 94.3 The Talker, or the Bold Gold Media Group.
The following presentation is paid for by Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate, who is solely responsible for its content. Portions transcribed.
All Century 21 real estate offices are independently owned and operated.
This is the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate. Good morning. I'm Jackie Ruddy. And with Pat Devaney, my husband, fellow realtor. Good morning, Pat.
Good morning, Jackie. How are you today?
How's your morning going?
It's going well, thank you.
And how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good.
We have with us, for the second week in a row, Pamela Onslinger, Homeownership Center Manager, Kathy Tavera, Housing Specialist, and they are from NeighborWorks of Northeast PA. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here with us today. We're here every Saturday at 11 a.m., Sunday at 11:30 a.m., where we review many real estate topics. We have a full-time real estate office with many relentless realtors who've been assisting, advising, and guiding clients in real estate matters for over 50 years.
During the week, feel free to email us any questions you have at questions@jruddy.com. That's questions@jruddy.com. Or if you'd like to suggest a topic, something we haven't covered in the last 13 years. How long has it been? It's been that long, huh? Wow, we've been doing this a long time.
Long time.
Or you can give us a call at 570-344-6724. And when you go to jruddy.com, click on the webcam tab and see what's going on at Dunmore Corners.
View our listings, search the MLS listings, and listen to archive radio shows by going to mobile-friendly jruddy.com. That's jruddy.com. And look us up on social media. You can catch us pretty much everywhere. We do have this show featured as a podcast, and all those podcast apps are on jruddy.com as well.
Is Billy Griffiths on there?
I hope Billy Griffiths likes this show.
I do too.
All right. He's probably listening right now. Okay, ladies. Pamela Onslinger, Homeownership Center Manager, Kathy Tavera, Housing Specialist. Who would like to talk to me about NeighborWorks of Northeast PA and what you do? Pamela?
Sure, I can do that. So NeighborWorks Northeastern Pennsylvania is a nonprofit organization. We work within the community to really help bring people from renting to purchasing their homes. In addition to that, we work to do some community development work. So that's, looking at the community as a whole and saying, what can we do to improve your neighborhood based on the recommendations of the neighborhood? And then we also work with older adults specifically to help them stay in their home through our Aging in Place program. All of these services are on our website at nwnepa.org.
So last week we talked about, for the most part, the home buyer programs. And you guys described those, the Scranton and the Lackawanna County home buyer programs. This week I want to talk to you about how you work with people who want to purchase a home. What is that called? Is there a program? And what do you do every day to help people, please?
Sure. So we have decided to call that our Pathways to Homeownership. So it's a really great program, that helps to really, build someone up financially to be able to successfully purchase a home. So this program, really came to fruition in 2018 because prior to that, we saw people that were either already in process of purchasing homes and were, mortgage ready and were working, to get that purchase under their belt. But then we saw a lot of people that were coming in saying, hey, how do I get there? And we really didn't have like a clear structure for that. We gave some tips and some recommendations on how to, adjust some of their finances to be able to qualify for a mortgage. But we really, didn't have a formal structure. So in 2018, we started doing our financial coaching program. So that encompasses looking at someone just like a lender would. We look at credit through a soft pull. We look at their savings, their income. We do to debt to income ratios. And the whole way is, really designed to explain to the buyer, the potential buyer, what those things are. So we, partner with a lot of lenders also who refer people when they get denied for a mortgage. And then people find us organically through friends and neighbors and the work that we do to say, hey, how do I get to buy that home? What does that look like for me as a person?
So you deal with primarily first-time home buyers?
Yeah, we get a lot of people that are first-time home buyers, first-time generational home buyers. That's, and I say that with an excitement because it's amazing not just to work with somebody who has never purchased a home before, but also be that first person in their family to purchase a home. Just for a little bit of context, on average, we work with about 150 people a year. We have 3 housing counselors that can work with clients. And we have really, really good results. So when I say that, last year we had an average of an 80-point increase in people's credit. And we usually reduce debts by around $6,000 and increase savings by about $4,000. So when we look at those numbers, that really is translating into, the way that people can forge a path forward through, the financial coaching to be able to get a mortgage, and not just any mortgage, but a mortgage that's affordable. Because the more financially sound someone is, the cheaper the interest rate is, the closing costs. And a lot of our home buyers are low to modest income earners. So, that's really bringing them to a place where not just being able to get any old mortgage that might not be sustainable for them, they're getting a mortgage at a lesser rate that's going to be financially sound for them as well. Okay.
So this pathway to home ownership, is there a cost to someone?
Absolutely not. So we, as a nonprofit, do get funding through various grants from the federal and state government. So we're able to provide all of our services free of charge. The other thing with our credit repair programs, we do soft pulls on the credit, which is really critical because it's not a hard hit, but we're getting the full credit report to really be able to help someone and not hurt them along the way.
So you guide, you advise, you help. How long does someone take advantage of this Pathways to Homeownership program?
Great question. So everybody's path is different. I think credit is sometimes the biggest indicator there. If there's a lot of collections to work through, missed payment history, that's going to take a little bit longer than someone with a different, credit profile. We usually typically tell people that they can purchase a home in a year or less. So in all honesty, we stick true to that. If someone sticks with us and sticks, to coming back for their follow-up appointments, keeping that check on the credit, following through with the recommendations that, we work on together, they can buy a home usually within a year.
Okay, but how many times do they have to either come in person, have a virtual meeting? How many times do they have to meet with somebody in order to find out what they have to do and how to take a next step?
So that is up to you as the client. So we have some people that want to have higher touch, like more often check-ins because they look at us straight in the face and say, hey, I need you to help hold me accountable to this. Mm-hmm. And then we have some people that are like, just give me the roadmap and I'm going to drive it. And, they come back every, 60 days, once a month. And, again, credit's the big factor there. It takes a little bit of time to see actions pop up on the report. So, if we usually put appointments out every 45 days, but people can come in more often than that or take a little bit longer.
Would you say the biggest roadblock to people is the amount of debt that they have, that income to debt ratio?
It can be, certainly. Credit score is just one piece of that pie. When we look at debt, we're looking at student loan debt coupled with sometimes like consumer debt.
Student loan debt is a killer. I don't know how many people I've worked with that couldn't afford a home because they had those huge student loan debts.
Absolutely. We definitely run into that too. And again, it's also knowing the loan types and what the qualifications are for the loans. We sometimes can still align them with different loan products that are a little bit more flexible on that DTI and how they calculate out the student loans.
So this program takes months and months. This is not like I walk in and then next week I'm going to buy.
You don't have a magic wand at NeighborWorks.
Yes, she does. She does, but she's not telling anybody.
Yeah. So the way that I put it is, when people ask about how long, I say we're GPS. Whether you want to take the highway or the country route is up to you. So if you want to take the nice, peaceful rural drive, that's fine. If you want to fast lane it down the highway, but that's up to what you're able to do as the person.
Every person we have in here, whether it's insurance, whether it's a loan officer, we say, how long does it take or what's the rate? They go, it depends.
Yep.
It's the same answer all the time. It depends mostly on the people.
Absolutely.
And credit scores are so important in every aspect of my life. The higher my credit score, my insurance is better. There's just so many positive things to working towards that higher credit score.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we also touch on is, we tell people that, our recommendations are going to be based on the qualifications of a mortgage. But along the way, we're also creating a foundation for long-term affordability across all aspects, whether it be utilities, insurance, like you mentioned. And a lot of people don't realize that credit score dictates how someone universally can just simply charge you. One of the other things that we're super, proud about is in 2021, we'll say, over that year, we also designed and launched a full Spanish-speaking curriculum. So I'd love to kick it over to Kathy to talk about that.
Yes. So we currently have 2 bilingual Spanish housing counselors. And when I started on, that was one of the things that I mentioned to my supervisor, Pamela, that I wanted to have a Spanish program. Being Spanish speaking, I wanted to help other people that don't speak English be able to partake in our services and be able to get the assistance that they need. Sometimes when you're Spanish speaking, it's hard to get the information and the education to qualify for services or, ask for help. Some people are afraid to. So we're very big on word of mouth, and Spanish people definitely tell each other everything, right? So, if someone was able to use the services, they'll tell their friends. And a lot of times people come here and they don't understand credit. Buying a home is not the same as what it is when you're in a different country, and they don't know how to get there. So having someone that can educate them on that process is very big. And being able to understand, right, speaking in your language. Because even if you are Spanish speaking and you speak English, sometimes you don't understand when it comes to finances because the words don't translate the same. So it's a lot easier to speak to somebody when it comes to finances, when it comes to purchasing a home in your own language. Even mortgage terms, they don't know what mortgage terms are. So just learning, what the process is here and how they can get there in your own language is amazing. So, I came in and I said, I'm going to translate into intake documents. I attended workshops with my supervisor and learned what she talks about, and then went ahead and translated it for, to host Spanish workshops. So that's definitely, a great big difference from what we had before. And the amount of clients that we're assisting that are Spanish speaking is tremendous. Like, it has grown so much. But we didn't stop there. We had clients that came in that spoke Swahili, so we got a Swahili interpreter to come in. We had clients that came in that needed ASL, and we also reached out and got an ASL interpreter. So we're definitely, trying to break those barriers for people to be able to obtain our services.
And that's tremendous, but the Spanish-speaking community has grown dramatically since I first got into real estate. So it is a necessity. But what I'm finding is, because we have a bilingual realtor at our office, James Caceres, and I'm finding that, as you just mentioned, Kathy, when they speak English, they often do ask for James because there's a built-in trust factor.
That's true. I've actually worked with James in the past. Again, it's that word of mouth. So when you work with someone that speaks your language, you do have that trust because you feel like, this person's not going to try to take advantage of me. And when it comes to such a big purchase, a lot of people are afraid that they're going to get, they're not going to be able to get something that's affordable, or they're going to end up purchasing something that, the person is taking advantage of them, and you don't understand what you're getting into. So like being able to speak to someone that understands your language and even has the same values as you, right? Because sometimes when you're Spanish speaking, you have similar values, and that makes you trust that person more and trust that person is going to do right by you.
Good. So what's the lowest credit score that you've seen that you were able to turn around and get through the front door of a home?
So that's a great question. We actually had a fantastic success story last year, and this is going to hit on a couple of different aspects. So we recently expanded to Monroe County with these services. So when we look at the Pocono Mountain region, one of the partnerships we were able to make is with Habitat of Humanities. So their housing model, you are essentially getting financing through them, but they still have set, requirements to be able to qualify for that. One of them is at least a 620 credit score. So we had a couple that were applicants for the Habitat home. However, their credit scores were down in the low 400s, like 420s, 450s. And within 90 days, we were able to get their credit scores up 75 points. So that was a huge, huge jump. And then over a few more months while they were working on the Habitat home, because again, a part of that model is that they have to put so many hours of physical labor into the home. By the time the home was ready for them to move in, their credit scores were up over 650. And that happened in under a year.
Fabulous.
Yeah, I feel like that one just really embodies so many different aspects. And then I know Kathy recently had someone that, she worked with over the year that purchased their home. And when we think about, what I mentioned before on not just a first-time home buyer, but a first-time ever home buyer for their family, that was, I think that was the highlight of last year. What do you think?
I think it was. So I had this client come in and she didn't have the credit. She didn't have the savings. So, we set a goal. We said, okay, we're going to try to do it by a year. We ended up accomplishing it in 9 months, which was amazing. But, we worked on getting the credit up there, paying down credit cards. So one of the things that I do when I do my counseling sessions is a pre-qualifying calculator in which I qualify them the same way a lender would, and I'll let them know this is what you would qualify for a mortgage right now. If we pay off these debts, this is what you would qualify for, right? So I show them the difference now in the future, and then that kind of motivates them to keep working. And then I also referred them to UNC of Northeastern PA. They have a savings match program. So I said, you know what, we're going to work on budget, right? So we looked at her finances, we looked at the banking, and we created a savings plan. So once we enter all the income, we enter the expenses, and this is the amount that you have left over. With that, you're going to save this amount, and then this amount will go to your debts. And, they did the savings match program with UNC, who was able to match their savings, and they were able to come to closing with like $8,000. On top of that, we gave them funds from the homebuyer program. So it just shows like it took 9 months for us to get there. But every time we met, she's like, oh my gosh, you're helping me so much. You're answering all my questions. You're providing me with these resources that I can help. She can even use in the future. We speak about that. Maintaining your home, you're still going to have to budget savings to maintain that home. So we're providing them with the resources that they're going to need lifelong. And, this client came back and she was at the closing crying. She came from housing. She lived in housing all of her life. And then she was able to purchase her first home. No one in her family had ever been able to do that. And she gave her kids a home. And it was beautiful, honestly.
Sure. What a gift for you and her.
Yeah.
Okay. So does anybody ever use the Pathways to Homeownership program and not buy a home, but just straighten out their life?
Absolutely. We don't have a requirement that says you have to buy a home at the end of this. It's really, we have people that sometimes call and say, I don't want to buy a home. Can I still get your services? And usually our answer to that is, will you possibly buy a home at some point in time in your life, then this information is vital. But at the same time, we also then explain a lot of our recommendations are based on mortgage eligibility. So, we are going to specifically talk to you about mortgages and with that as the ultimate goal in mind. So if you're thinking maybe in 10 years, some of the information we're going to provide probably isn't going to be as relevant as it's going to be in 10 years. But we certainly don't disclude anyone from accessing that information.
All right. So it's really primarily for people who want to buy a home.
Yes.
And so you're there to help people like credit counseling, debt reduction, and saving strategies.
Correct.
All right. The good folks from NeighborWorks Northeast PA, Pamela Onslinger, Homeownership Center Manager, Kathy Tavera, Housing Specialist. How does someone get in touch with you, please?
They can reach us at 570-558-2490. Again, that's 570-558-2490. You can also email us at intake@nwnepa.org. That's intake@nwnepa.org, or visit our website at nwnepa.org.
Thank you. Pat, would you like to review a listing?
Yes. We have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home at 17 Villa Street in Carbondale for $175,000. This home has just undergone a meticulous transformation, leaving nothing untouched. This home has a new roof, freshly painted stucco exterior, off-street parking, and it's on a quiet dead-end street. The brand-new kitchen has stainless steel appliances and granite countertops. The house has new windows, freshly painted interior, and new flooring and doors. So if you're looking for a move-in condition home, please check out 17 Villa Street in Carbondale, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home for $175,000, and that's listed by Nicole Clark of our office.
I'd like to thank our very generous sponsor, Rinker Inc., who specializes in automatic generator and power storage systems, ductless heating and air conditioning. They are also your full-service electrician serving the area for over 35 years. Customer satisfaction is Rinker Inc.'s number one priority. Their focus is on quality workmanship along with honesty and integrity. Rinker Inc. combines their knowledge and extensive experience to ensure your needs are met. Contact Rinker Inc. today. Call 570-698-9696. That's 570-698-9696. And visit them at GoRinkerInc.com. They look forward to adding you to their long list of happy customers. Stay with the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ready Real Estate on 94.3 FM The Talker. We'll be right back after a very brief break. Are you ready to make your next move in the world of real estate? Look no further than Century 21 Jack Ready Real Estate, your trusted partner in buying and selling homes. If you're a homeowner looking to sell, Century 21 Jack Ready Real Estate will ensure you get the best possible price in today's competitive market. And if you're in the market to buy your dream home, Century 21 Jack Ready Real Estate will help you find the perfect place to call your own.
Congratulations.
We've adopted the popular saying, an educated consumer is our best customer. That's why since 2010, we've hosted the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ready Real Estate Saturdays at 11 a.m., Sundays at 11:30 a.m. on 94.3 The Talker. Visit jruddy.com. That's JRUDDY.com, or call 570-344-6724. Century 21 Jack Ready Real Estate, where dreams find their address. Welcome back to the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ready Real Estate on 94.3 FM The Talker. I'm Jackie Ruddy, broker, and with Pat Devaney.
And we're back.
My husband, fellow realtor. We are back with NeighborWorks Northeast PA, Pamela Onslinger, Homeownership Center Manager, Kathy Tavera, Housing Specialist. Thank you, ladies, for being here with us again. What I wanted to talk about, the Pathways to Homeownership is a really good program. Not only helps people to get into the home, but also think about ways they are going to stay in the home, help them budget and get a handle on expenses and so on and so forth. So talk to me, please, about the education process.
Sure. So, I always say we're education first. We have a lot of different programs, but education and empowerment is probably our root, focus and core. You really can empower an individual to have the confidence to make, sound financial decisions through education. When you think about the way that we work with people, we really are focusing on the person. So, a lot of people say, personal finances, and then they talk about finances and they forget the personal part. So it's really critical when you're working with somebody to take into account what's important to them. We talked about values earlier and how that's a driver. When we think about wants versus needs, that's different for everyone, and that's okay. And it's important for somebody to feel confident in what they consider to be important to them and never feel scrutinized. So I think that's really what our focus is making, sure that anybody that we work with is comfortable. And that they have the confidence in what we're doing, and they have confidence in themselves to go out and execute the recommendations that we're making. So we do that in two ways. We have one-on-one sessions, which are, really where we take that information and apply it to specifically the client's situation. And then we also do offer group education. So the group education is, really more broad, generic information on home buying itself. So really that's designed for people that, are a little bit more, through the pathways to homeownership, their credit's in decent shape, they're, a little bit more ready to go and meet with lenders and start that process. We do offer an education group where we have different speakers talk about all the players that are involved in the home buying purchase. So when we look at that lineup, we have lenders, we have realtors, we have inspectors, we have insurance providers, and we also often have closing agents or title agents. So, and we design it intentionally where people are getting exposure to every single person involved in a real estate transaction, kind of in order of operation. So starting with your loan type and your purchase price, working with the realtor to pick your home, and then what happens once you're under contract is, inspections, insurance, and who is that title agent, and kind of getting some faces to those people. When we do these programs, we do them in person. They are for free. So our in-person does not have a cost. Last year, we helped 115 people go through this course in person. And then we also have an online option. So the online option is very popular. It is a little bit more self-guided, so people can jump on all hours of the night or the morning to take it. And we had about 200 people go through that program last year. Now, that one does have a cost because we are using a third-party entity to put that course together. So, there is a cost associated with that, but that's up to the person to decide what they want to do. One of the cool things that we did launch recently over the last year and a half is our fully Spanish-speaking workshops.
So our Spanish-speaking workshops have been a tremendous success. We usually have registration open for 25 people, and I have had about 20 people show up to each workshop. And it's amazing because all of the partners that I have attend are Spanish-speaking, which, was a hard thing to get because you don't always find Spanish lenders and realtors, inspectors and all of that. But I have I have great partnerships with these partners, and they're all Spanish speaking. So it's amazing to be able to put that workshop on for clients in their own language.
Fabulous. We enjoyed our time with you ladies. NeighborWorks, Northeast PA, Pamela Anslinger, Homeownership Center Manager, Kathy Tavera, Housing Specialist. How does someone get in touch with you, please?
They can reach us at 570-558-2490. Again, that's 570-558-2490. They can email us at intake@nwnepa.org. That's intake@nwnepa.org, or visit our website, nwnepa.org.
Thank you. Pat?
Yes, we have a beautiful 5-bedroom, 2-bath home at 726 Manuka Avenue in Music for $255,000. This lovely home is located on a quiet street. It has hardwood floors and beautiful woodwork throughout. The 3rd floor is completely finished with heat and air conditioning, and it could be used as a 5th bedroom or a home office. This home has a heated mudroom with a closet. There's additional space in the large basement, and it sits on a 50 by 150 lot with a fenced-in yard, low taxes of only $1,800 a year, and a 1-car garage. That's a 5-bedroom, 2-bath home at 726 Manuka Avenue in Music for $255,000, and that's listed by Franny Mancuso of our office.
Thank you, Pat. Don't forget to tune in next Saturday at 11 a.m., Sunday at 11:30 a.m. to listen to more of the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ready Real Estate and 94.3 The Talker. Have an excellent week.